we should now be live. Hello everybody, I'm just going to get music started for us. There we go, lovely. And I'm going to turn the music volume down just a tad, just so it's not too loud. If it's too quiet or too loud, please do let me know in the comments. So, how is everyone's Sunday going? Oh yeah, definitely going to have to turn that down a bit, I think. Hello, orangutan. I'm doing okay. Yes, hello, She-Man Manji. We will be doing a bit of a rating today. So, it's been a while since I've done a tier list for the species of Jurassic World Evolution 2, and since the last time I did it, we've had quite a few new animals. Essentially everything from the Shonisaurus onwards is new, but I've also used a lot more of the species in game since, and I think some of my opinions have changed. So we're going to do a ranking of all of these animals pretty much into these categories here. Now, something you might notice, which is a difference from the last time I did this, is there's no classics category. So that means even animals like Stegosaurus, T-Rex, Trikes, all those classic Jurassic Park dinosaurs which kind of get a free pass, we're going to be looking with a bit of a more critical eye here, because I think one or two of them are slightly overrated. So we'll tackle this in sort of alphabetical order, more or less. And yeah, just so people know, I am going to be taking your opinions from chat into mind as well, but I am mostly going to be tackling this from the position of what I'm interested in. So social animations, skins, general design, model, whether I think they bring something unique and interesting to the game. That's what I'm focusing on. I know some people focus on combat and stuff like that. So if anyone has opinions about, you know, aspects that I'm not looking at, do let me know in the chat as we go through. Hello something, and hello Catherine, and hello Kyrie, and hello anybody else who is there. Do say hello in the chat. So let's get started straight away. Acrocanthosaurus. I don't think Acrocanthosaurus is going to get much problem if I stick it into perfect. Like, Acrocanthosaurus is one of the few large theropods in game with all of the, like, all of his skins are absolutely brilliant. His animations with that sort of distinctive tummy rumble he has is pretty unique, and but it's mostly the skins for me that save this. The run animation, like the animation quality of general moving around for a lot of these animals is balked up, so there's not much we can do about that. She is not a fan of Acro, it seems. Bro, it just looks like a T-Rex has been shaved of all of its uniqueness. Well, I would argue that T-Rex is not that unique anymore. Its main skin looks ugly as hell. Well, you've got 72 to choose from. One bad one is not that much of a problem. Yeah, I agree with the sarcastic paleontologist. Out of all of the big theropods we have in game, I think Acro is probably going to be top of my tree out of them all. Alamosaurus. Alamo, I think, potentially has some questionable choices made in terms of the design, the horns on the back of its head, for example. But I think Alamo is, I'm going to say, very good. Out of all the sauropods I have in game, I'm going to say very good. I didn't think this one had licensed music in it. I've been misled by the Jurassic World Evolution 2 soundtrack. Sorry, had to switch that. Yeah, so Alamo, easily one of the best sauropods, but I don't think it's perfect. I think the horns on the back of the head and the sort of the weird spiky bits on the neck are a bit iffy. Albertosaurus. I'm not sure about Alberto. I don't think it's perfect, Burger. I think Alberto has some nice skins, but I really don't like the body model. The social animation is not that interesting. The horns do make it look slightly different. But given how we've got U Tyrannus now, I think Albertosaurus is less good than U Tyrannus. I'm going to say that it's okay. I think the skins save it. But I think U Tyrannus is going to be higher. So this one, I'm sorry, I cannot stand the Fallen Kingdom Allosaurus. Absolutely horrible. Even with the new skins, like, none of them really improve it. And it just looks gross. Worst, cans are disgusting. Yeah, it seems people agree with me. It just looks disgusting. And a normal Allosaurus, I think, is really let down by its skins. Like, there's only really 2 patterns on Allosaurus that make it look decent. The rest of them are pretty meh. And the one that's lime green and pink, it's just a disgusting combination that looks really awful. So for me, Allosaurus is just kind of average. Just been let down by the quality of its skins. Amargasaurus, for me, is perfect. I know some people would think that's a bit high, and maybe it is, but like, it's a genuinely new dinosaur to JWE2. It brings something different to the game, that being a smaller type of sauropod to go alongside Nigersaurus. It doesn't look as ugly as Nigersaurus. The spiky neck makes it stand out. It has some adorable social animations, and the skins all work really well. But there's not a bad skin amongst them. So for me, Amargasaurus is perfect. I know for some people that's... how could you say Niger is... I don't personally find Niger ugly, but some people do have a problem with Niger's head. For me, Amargasaurus is a perfect dinosaur in JWE2. Ankylosaurus. Ooh, see... Jurassic World Evolution 2 didn't really do very much with any of the ankylosaurs. Didn't really improve the quality of its skins at all. I would say the skin system doesn't really work very well for pretty much any of the ankylosaurs. The Jurassic Park 3 model of Ankylosaurus does save it a bit. And I prefer Ankylosaurus's design to, say, Euoplocephalus's. I'm going to put Ankylo in just okay. It's just okay. Maybe average, actually. Yeah, I feel better putting it in average. Hello, Joshua. Apatosaurus is meh for me. I don't use Apatosaurus basically ever. I don't like the model. I think the skins are pretty poor all around. And against the other sauropods that we have in game already, I think Apatosaurus doesn't do enough to make itself stand out, really. How often do you respond to chat? I do try to keep an eye on it, but again, if I just respond to chat, then nothing gets done. And please remember, She-Man, that your chat is about 10 to 15 seconds behind. So you type something, I see it in 15 seconds time. So I'll try. I'm also aware that we have a lot of dinosaurs to get through in 2 hours, so I'll try and slow down a little bit, She-Man. But yeah, just take that into Archaeornithomimus. Burger says pointless. You know, I kind of agree with you. If I'm going to be really honest, I think Archaeornithomimus is kind of pointless because both Gallimimus and Struthiomimus, basically the same animal, but look better, have better skins. They don't have... Archaeornithomimus doesn't have a massively better social or anything. And it always surprised me they didn't make a feathered one. Like, we haven't got a feathered ornithomimid, and we know that pretty much every ornithomimid had feathers. So the fact that they haven't gotten a feathered skin for Archaeornithomimus... Like, if Archaeornithomimus had a feathered skin, then it wouldn't be down there. But at the moment, it's just pointless, because it doesn't do anything compared to the rest. Atrociraptor, I'm just going to put in meh. For me, just like Dominion, like their purpose in Dominion as a whole, I don't see the relevance of them. They look basically the same as Velociraptors. They just have different skins. And I don't really see the point of that. So they're just meh, another animal in there. I agree with you, She-Man Manshi. We have way too many raptor species. A blocky raptor. Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. Attenborosaurus. I think Attenborosaurus is... I don't know, very good. I don't think it is very good. I think some of its skins let it down. It's a good looking plesiosaur, but I think some of its skins let it down a bit. There's like really only 2 or 3 patterns I use on it, because the rest don't really have much of an impact. And I think the way that the skins work as well don't really make it stand out too much. On the upside, it does have that really loud call, which kind of distinguishes itself in the park. I'm going to put it like very good, but I kind of... Can I make this wider? No. I feel like I kind of want to have like a... It's in the very good section, but I would say it's on the lower side of very good. Like, if we were to organize them going upwards, like, I would say it's less very good than the Alamo, if that makes sense. In the same way that I think Atrociraptor is less... Shall we start doing that, actually? So I'm going to say Acro is more perfect than Amarga. So let's say the further over to the right, the more like higher up in the section it is. Afrovenator. I don't really use it very often. Oh, Australovenator, sorry, Afrovenator. I'm getting my dinosaurs confused. Australovenator. Again, I kind of feel like it's just okay. It has that frontier tendency of splotchy pattern camo. Like, so many dinosaurs that Frontier make seem to just be like splotchy. Splotchy or lines. That's all they do. And I'm not a big fan of the model. And I think there are other similar sized animals that are better. I think it's higher up in the okay than No, actually, I don't think it is. I think Alberto is better than it. I think Alberto is better than Australovenator. It's just another Herrerasaurus clone and kind of a bland one of that. Yeah. Right, before we go to Barbaridactylus, Ankylodocus. Because he's all the way at the bottom here. And I want to do a hybrid early. So Barker says bad. Ankylodocus has certainly massively improved from what it was. The Lux skins look really great on it. The social animation it has with Ankylosaurus is, I think, pretty funny. It is a hybrid. However, the way that Ankylodocus looks now, I think it provides us an animal which we can pretend is something else in the parks. Because the way Ankylodocus looks now, it legitimately looks like an animal I can see existing. Like, it literally could be an Osmai or a Shono or a Saltosaurus. I think it provides us an animal we can use for something else. It might be a hybrid, but looking beyond the fact it's a hybrid, I think it's, if not very good, I think it's definitely okay. And I would say more okay than Albertosaurus. Yeah, I would have loved Saltosaurus as well, She-Man Manchi. Saltosaurus is like one of my most requested species for this game. It does look more like Apatosaurus and Ankylosaurus, but I prefer this model to Jurassic World Evolution's 1. It doesn't go any higher than okay because, as Love Game Selfie pointed out, the fact it cannot fight back is a completely missed opportunity. And yes, I agree, Zadus. Right, Barbaridactylus, our first pterosaur. I think it has very good skins, but now that but I think Barbaridactylus is in a really awkward place because for a long time we didn't have any good pterosaur that had a crest on its head. But now we can take the Jurassic Park 3 Pteranodon and give it any colours we like. I think the argument between which is better, Barbaridactylus or JP3 Pteranodon, is a little harder to determine. I agree, King Giga. It is basically a more colourful Pteranodon. But why would you not use Pteranodon in that case? Because Barbaridactylus is kind of small. I'm going to put Babaradactylus in okay. And I'm going to put it at the higher end of okay, because if I had to choose between it or any other pterosaur, I'd probably take Babaradactylus. But between JP3 Pteranodon and Babaradactylus, that would be harder for me to decide. It is inaccurate as well. Berenson does make a good point. Babaradactylus is based on very limited fossil evidence, so it's a very a big interpretation. I am surprised that Frontier did not bring Nyctosaurus to the game, because Nyctosaurus seems to be an animal I hear a lot. And I think would have made a better, more interesting animal as well. Yeah, I mean, creative liberties are one thing, orangutan man, but there are some which I do not accept. Right, baryonyx. Sorry, it's gross. Baryonyx has been totally ruined by Universal. It's not Frontier's fault. They are stuck using the baryonyx model from the new films, but it's crap. It looks nothing like the fossil. The skins are rubbish. The crocodilian look they gave it is complete pants. The Camp Cretaceous skins do not save it, because they're really low res. The animation quality of its social are very, very limited. Why would they just didn't give us the website version? Oh, I'm sorry, Shima, Manshi. Me and Fallen Kingdom do not go together. So yeah, I'm sorry. For Baryonyx is down there at gross. I don't use it because of its terrible quality. I use a mod model, which is closer to the website. Right, Brachiosaurus, the standard Brachiosaurus. I do not think it's as good as Alamosaurus. And I don't think it's as good as Babaradactylus. And I don't think it's as good as Ankylodocus. Like many of the sauropods in this game, Brachiosaurus is really let down by the quality of its skins. They're just not very good. Now, as someone... Yeah, the 2001 Brachie, which we'll have here, and we'll also do this one. The JP3 Brachie goes straight in there at very good. I love the Jurassic Park 3 model of Brachie. I love the coloration, I love the pattern, and I love the fact that it looks a bit chunkier. I've always thought that Jurassic Park's original Brachiosaurus just looked a bit malnourished, because it just didn't look as chunky and fat and heavy. To me, the 2001 Brachie, that's the best Brachie. And now we can change the color. Those Jurassic Park 3 skin variations we now have makes that even better. Yeah, it looks more like a living animal. Right. Camarasaurus. For me, again, it's in there with Apatosaurus. It would be in average, but I don't like the head. The head is completely the wrong shape. It's really ugly. The skins are relatively poor. And yeah, I think they just did a bad job with it, to be honest. Yeah, the head is way too large for the neck. So yeah, I'm afraid Kamara goes into meh for me. Carcharodontosaurus. This one, I'm a bit... I don't use Carcharodontosaurus very often. I'm not the biggest fan of the model. Better than Acro. Barger, you are way off. Nowhere near better than Acro. Sorry. Just no. Has a number of bad skins. There's a couple which make it look like it's got some sort of plague illness because it's like a really horrible snot green color. The spikes down the back do nothing for me, to be honest. And it's a big theropod, but that doesn't really add much to him to me. The JPOG Kakara is way better. I do agree with you there. I'm going to put it in average. I'm going to put it on the higher end of average, but it's just average to me. I certainly don't think it's as good as Alberto or Acro. In fact, I would probably put the Tarbosaurus above it, but we'll get to that hopefully in a minute. Right, Carnotaurus. Carno is just going to go straight in there. It's very good for me. Like, I have no complaints about it. I think the skins are good. I really like the broken horn skin. Yeah, it's just a really good sort of standardized carnivore for me. The sitting like a duck is a bit strange, but that almost kind of gives it its own sort of personality. Yeah, there's the Dominion skin, Jacob. It has a broken horn, and it's got this kind of demon-esque red and black pattern, which I really love. So yeah, very good for me. What's this one? This is like Ceratopsians, right? I suppose that shows why I'm putting it in pointless. Why? It's pointless. Utterly pointless. It's not as good as Barbaradactylus. It's not as good as Tapejara. It's not as good as Maradactylus. It offers nothing. The skins are meh. It doesn't even really have a proper crest. So, meh. Literally, again, why do we have this and not Nyctosaurus, for example? So, yeah, not even gonna waste much more time on that one. Pointless is basically forgettable, Barger. Ceratosaurus. I have to be honest here, as much as I love Ceratosaurus, I think I need to be really, I have to be strict with myself. And as German Builder has pointed out, the Ceratosaurus skins are bad. So I think Ceratosaurus goes into average with Allosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, which are also let down by their skins. It's a shame because I love the Cerato design, but the skins are just bad. Chasmosaurus. I think Chasmosaurus is okay, and I'm going to put it as a strong okay. And I don't think people respect Chasmosaurus enough. I'm seeing it coming as pointless, forgettable. Completely disagree with you there. It has, in terms of all of the Ceratopsians, the best skins. Like, of all of the Ceratopsians, it has far superior skins. Now, I don't agree. Pentaceratops isn't as good, I don't think, in terms of its skins. And it's the smallest Ceratopsian really we have in game. We don't really have a small Ceratopsian. All of them are on the larger side because we don't have like Protoceratops. So Chasmosaurus is like the perfect smaller Ceratopsian. Oh, I forgot Microceratus, but who gives a damn about that? Yeah, I think Chasmosaurus deserves way more respect. Yeah, but at least it has a beak. Like, paleontologically, it has a beak. At least they have given it a proper beak, unlike some of the iguanodontids, for example. Like, what did they do to Tyrannosaurus? We'll get to Deinonychus in a minute, Jacob. Don't worry. I am going on a limb. Like, Chasmo sits in okay for me. Pentaceratops, we'll get to that. Chunkingosaurus. Pointless, forgettable, says Burger. I'm going to put it in bad. The biggest problem with Chunking is, again, the bad skins. Like, none of them are very good. And Huangosaurus is probably better. It's not gross, because they haven't ruined the model like they did with the Aloe and Barry. And I wouldn't say it's pointless, because it would represent a larger, it represents a larger sort of design of Stegosaur similar to Huango. So we could have used it to be like an adult and have Huango as babies, but it's just badly made. Yeah, it's just Asian Stegosaur 76. Coelophysis. Very good. Coelophysis. It's small, but it's still big enough to be easily seen. Barger, you have said bad about pretty much every animal so far. One of the best small carnivores, I agree with you, something. Really good skins, love the pattern. Has an interesting enough social animation. And a necessary addition. Yes, Godzilla, I completely agree with you. One of the few Triassic period animals in this game, and the Triassic period must have more representation in any future Jurassic World Evolution. That is the hill I'm going to die on in about that. Compies. Pointless. I'm not even going to go into why. Corythosaurus. Corythosaurus, again, like Chunking. Just the skin quality is completely let down. The fact that it walks around on 2 legs really pisses me off, because we all know they should be walking around on 4. They've done a really bad job with the model, I think. and there are just too many other better animals like Allura Titan, Parasaurolophus. So it just kind of doesn't even have a niche anymore. I personally love Corythosaurus. I loved Jurassic Park Operation Genesis's skins for it. But in Jurassic World Evolution 2, it's let down by its poor skins and the fact that there are better animals. Crichtonsaurus. It suffers from all of the same problems Ankylosaurus has. And yeah, I think it has to go into bad. I'm going to say it's more bad than Chungking, in my opinion. And Compy is more pointless than any other animal in this game. Cryolophosaurus. I think Cryolophosaurus people have forgotten. I'm going to put it in OK, and it's going to go in the top part of OK. Cryolophosaurus people always seem to forget. Like, I very rarely see it requested on Evo streams. It has some really good skins and some really good skin patterns. The social isn't that interesting, but the fact that it does have that vertical crest does make it distinct. I really, really miss the mod I used to use, which gives the Cryolophosaurus a Lux pattern, because the Lux pattern was on the blue. So it really made it look like some like ice demon-esque elemental dinosaur thing, which really works for it. And I really do miss that mod. So yeah, I think Cryolophosaurus gets forgotten about too much. Dinoceras. It's just perfect. Like, Dinoceras does pretty much everything I'd want an animal to have in this game. Has the feathers, which makes it immediately distinct. Really good skins. The patterns let the skins down slightly, though. The patterns let the skins down slightly, but the quite funny social animation kind of makes up for it. So, yeah, and the fact it's an omnivore, one of the few omnivores we have in game, it just does everything you'd expect it to. Yeah, the good boy. I really hope they don't. I really hope that the next piece of information we hear about this game from Frontier is it's ended. No more development. That's what I want to hear next. Deinonychus. So we're up to Jacob the Gooses. Is it better than Atrociraptor? Yes. Yes, it is. So that puts it to average. I think knowing everything we are already coming up to, I think it has to stay in average. It does have that unique look with the basilisk frills, but the skins are not fantastic, nor are the patterns. And it is just another type of raptor, which we already have too many of. I think they could have done a better job with Deinonychus. Like, in a perfect world, we would have Velociraptor as it is now, and we would have Deinonychus fully feathered. Maybe even keep the tadpole look, but just make it feathered, then I think I would look a bit better on Deinonychus. The fact that we basically had Velociraptor and then the animal the Velociraptor was based on, but just with a frill, always... Yeah, I just don't think it really helped its position. It's at the top end of average, though. I think it's better than Cerato. So, top end of average. Dilophosaurus. It is unique, King Giga, but it's unique because it's wrong. It's iconic, but it's iconic for all the wrong reasons. I'm going to put it in meh. In the... I just don't care about it. I think that Frontier have missed a trick not giving us an adult Dilophosaurus, because these are all juveniles. It would be nice to have an adult. Yes, the frill and the poison spitting makes it unique, but at the same time, they just don't really do very much with it. Like, you can put this poison spitting Dilophosaurus, you can put behind a fence with so many holes in it that it would be able to spit poison at every guest that passes. You know, I just don't use it. There are just so many other better animals for me. Like, there are so many other better animals. And I don't really like the skin cut, the colors for the patterns that they've provided either. Yeah, used so much in merch, but barely appears in the franchise. Like, it's really badly used. I just don't care about it. Dimetrodon. So again, I think the Dominion model of Dimetrodon is crap. It doesn't look like the fossils at all. I think it's average, and I think it's more average. I think it is very average. Not all of the skins are very nice. There are a few really good skins, but the rest of them are pretty bad. And I think the animation it has when it's running looks really, really weird. It's just a very average... It's an average version of the animal for me. I mean, put it this way. Dimetrodon in this game, or Walking with Monsters, is Dimetrodon. The Walking with Monsters Dimetrodon, closer to the fossil record, especially the head shape. Prefer the coloration on it. Yeah, I think it's average. Dimorphodon. That's just kind of meh for me. Same with its Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World Dominion version. They're just kind of meh. Again, there are better pterosaurs that you could have. And I just don't really care very much about them. Diplodocus. See, I almost want to argue that Diplodocus is as meh as Apatosaurus. Just because neither of them really take very much advantage of what they are. I'm just trying to think who has the better skins out of the Apatosaurus and Diplodocus. Who has the better skins? Yeah, I think the Dippy has the better skins, but it's just, yeah, it's just like Apatosaurus. It's just a long sauropod. Doesn't do anything good enough with it. Yeah, so I mean, it's completely up to date. It's, you know, Thanatos Draken is down here. Like, it's completely up to date. It's just these ones at the bottom haven't been put into alphabetical order, so I'm having to go based on that. So yeah, don't worry. Dracorex. Dracorex is bad for me. The skins are bad. Both the skin patterns and the skin colors, pretty bad. Doesn't have good social animations. Why would you use it over Homalocephaly? It just kind of exists, yeah. Invalid genus. Well, the validity of the genuses we are overlooking. So Love Game Selfie, whether Dracorex is a younger Pachycephalosaurus or not is still under debate. There's no yes or no yet. Standard Dreadnoughtus is gross. Dominion Dreadnoughtus is it's okay. I think it's kind of like Brachiosaurus in my opinion. Dominion Dreadnoughtus looks better, but the skins are still not very good. And it is a bit of a boring design. And the normal Dreadnoughtus is ugly as sin. Just looks like a Brachiosaurus with a longer neck and a fucked up head. Dryosaurus. I'm gonna say is okay. Kind of middle of the line okay. Has good skins. Doesn't really have much of a social animation, but yeah, it's just a good animal. It's cute and a little unique. Well, cuteness I don't think is something that we can really... Cuteness is something I don't really think we can judge on. You like sacrificing them to your carnivores. That's cruel. Sungaripterus. I feel like Sungaripterus kind of gets forgotten about. But I would say Sungaripterus is... Yeah, the fact that it eats fish. I think people are saying it's meh because they don't use it. Sungaripterus actually has some really good skins. But I think people don't use it because a Barbaridactylus probably has better skins. I think it's going to go behind Ceratosaurus. It looks interesting. It has a very different head shape to most pterosaurs. And it has good skins, but maybe not as good as Barry. Shall we do another hybrid? let's do actually, let's do Archelon. We haven't done Archelon. Right, Archelon. I think Archelon is perfect. I think it's absolutely perfect. Really beautiful main colors. Really good pattern colors. Kind of funny social animation when in the water. Brought something completely different to the game, that being a more peaceful, kind of family-friendly aquatic animal, which we were badly needing. One of the few that can use the island platform. And it's kind of what I think of as like a really good background animal. Like, you can put a couple of Archelon in a lagoon with a bunch of other plesiosaurs, and it just kind of gives you that sort of nice background, like, creature, a familiar background animal. So for me, it's perfect. The most perfect of any of the animals we've looked at so far. Edmontosaurus. It's just kind of meh again. Edmontosaurus is let down by bad skins. I love the fact that it walks around on 4 legs. People are saying perfect for Edmontosaurus. I don't think so. The skins are not as good. The skins are not good enough to be perfect. It's an average animal for me. I don't agree something. I don't think the skins are that good. Can I load up Steam? Because I'm pretty sure on Steam somewhere there is a skin workshop discussions. Right, let's look up Jurassic World Evolution 2. And I'm pretty sure in here somewhere. I cannot find it. Is it in artwork? Guides? I think it's in guides, actually. Carnivore skin guide. Let's look it up. I'm gonna look this up here because Herbivore skin guide. So we're A to L. We want Dread Dry Edmonto. There we go. So Edmontosaurus patterns. They apart from the head colors, which they change, 2 of them. Yeah, my problem with Edmontosaurus is that the skins don't do enough, the patterns don't do enough. And Papurana and Pelophylax's head colours are pretty similar. And in terms of main body colours, like 1, 2, 3... 3 of them are basically the same, 4, 5 of them are basically the same. I mean, one thing I would say for Edmontosaurus is that it does have main skin colors that you could do female and male skins very easily with, so I'll give it that. But it just doesn't stand out enough. Barga, if I let you judge, this would be very topsy-turvy, and it would be your channel, not mine. I just think it's just average. I think there are better hadrosaurs. Like, there are far better animals to come, and I don't think it's any higher than average. Elasmosaurus. Okay, hear me out. I know that Elasmosaurus has a very controversial design. But for me, the skins are so good. Like, the Elasmosaurus skins are so good. And yeah, the river monster design is a bit much. But like, if it didn't have that, it's just a bigger Attenborosaurus. Or a bigger Plesiosaurus. Like, they had to do something to make it stand out. Good boy, you think the skins are terrible? I completely disagree with you there. Completely disagree. I'm going to put it in average. The skins are good, but the model is poor, and the social animation... The social animation is pretty crap. So it's definitely only average. Euoplocephalus. I'm gonna actually have to look on Steam skin thing for this again, because Euoplo. Yeah, so Euoplo, the skins are terrible. The patterns basically don't do anything. Main body cut, like Euoplocephalus is like one of the few animals where you just don't bother putting a pattern on it because you don't need to. And I really, really do not like the overinflated obese balloon look it has. I think it's... Is it bad? No. I don't think it's bad. But I don't think it's as good as Anki. I'm going to say it's kind of meh. I would rather use Ankylosaurus than Euoplocephalus. But it's not body shaming. It is. Like, be honest. It's a balloon. They've taken a balloon and stuck in some horns to it. Euoplocephalus is ugly. It's just the truth. I vastly prefer Ankylosaurus' design to Euoplo's. Euoplo, they've taken it too far, Mr. Godzilla, in my opinion. Gallimimus. I think Gallimimus is like the epitome of average. Like, perfect? Like, you guys do understand what perfect has to mean, right? Perfect has to be, like, hugely amazing. Like, you can't just say a good animal is perfect because it's good. Perfect. Well, okay, if you want to call Gallimimus perfect, then let's bring up Struthiomimus, shall we? Struthiomimus, for me, is the perfect ornithomimid. Struthi has far better skins than the Galli. Gallimimus' skins are okay, but not all of them. Some of the patterns are a bit lacking, in my opinion. Pulcrana, way too similar to Calcarana and to Rana. I just think Struthiomimus is a better ornithomimid than the Galli is. Galli is pointless, Struthi is meh. Well, Dino, something is not holding back his punches. I don't think Galli is very good. I will go as far as to put Galli in okay. Because the Jurassic Park 1 skin of Galli, I do actually like the Jurassic Park 1 skin. I don't think it's very good. Because to be very good is like only have one or two problems, like one bad pattern or something. Galley has like 3 bad patterns. It's on the higher end of okay. That's as high as I'll go with it in this negotiation. As high as I'll go. Already up to 10 o'clock. Blimey, we're only up to G. This may have to be a two-parter stream. Geosternbergia. Okay, Geosternbergia. Is it better than Barbaridactylus? I think it is. I definitely think it is. And I think Geosternbergia actually has some really nice skins that complement Pteranodon. Oh, so we've got some people who are saying that it's better, some people saying that it's worse. Geo has good skins, but it's ugly. Well, it's not really ugly. That's what it looked like. You don't like the Geo's face. I don't know which one is better. Geo is Uniq. I think since we can't decide, let's put Barbaridactylus and Geosternbergia together. They both have the same advantages and probably the same disadvantages. Giganotosaurus. Right, so we are only talking about Frontiers Giganotosaurus here. I'm gonna have to go. I want to have a look at the skins. Ultimate Carnivore Guide. Giganotosaurus. Oh god, I forgot about those patterns. Oh, yeah. What about main skin colors? Yeah, Giga is a weird one for me. What do you guys think? I actually can. It's an abomination, damn to hell. Frontier Giga is good, more accurate than Dominion Giga. Frontier Giga is okay, boring head design, skins can't save it. Frontier is average, mediocre, boring. Okay. If we put it into average, are we going to put it higher than Aloe and Kakaro and Cerato? Or is it more average than them? King Giga just says yes. I don't know. Lower than Aloe, okay. Lower than Aloe, okay. There we go then. It's lower than Aloe. This brings us on to the other thorny one, the Dominion Giga. Okay. I am going to judge the Dominion Giga without thinking about the fact that I absolutely hate the Dominion remodel of the Giga. Okay? And like Zadus has said, the skins for the Dominion Giga are really, really good. Like, I really love all the colorings that they have. I would argue that the skins make it better than the standard Giga, okay? But the model, it looks like a Deathclaw that's given up on life and let itself go.
You really just turned around and said the suit maketh the man, didn't you?
No.
The skins make it better.
That being said, okay, we have put both, like, all of the other film models of animals we put in gross. But the skins do save it. Like, Barry is here because it has bad skins, as well as looks terrible. The Dominion Aloe is here because it looks terrible and has bad skins. The Dominion Giga looks terrible but has good skins. Does that make it average? Put it into bad. But I don't... Above average. I think King Giga, I'm going to have to put it into bad. It is saved by the skins, but that cannot get away from the fact that it looks awful. Gigant Spinosaurus. I don't use Gigant Spinosaurus very much, which is strange because in the first game I used Gigant Spinosaurus all of the time. Main skin colors are okay. Oh, it's really let down by the patterns. Like 3 of them are basically blue. And 2 of them are basically yellow. There's no... Yeah, that... And... There's... They didn't bring the rainforest pattern back. Everyone who plays Jurassic World Evolution 1 knows that Gigant Spinosaurus' best skin was the rainforest skin. Because it looked great, and they didn't bring it back. I think its skins are better than Chunking's. But I think it's still kind of meh as a result. I'm going to put it on the higher end of meh. Yeah, higher end of meh. If they had ported over the skins from Jurassic World Evolution 1, would have been a lot higher. I'm glad to see people agree with that one. Herrerasaurus. If let me check the skins out. Yeah, for me, Herrera is ruined. Okay, yeah. Herrerasaurus is ruined by the skins. What were they thinking of? Those patterns are fugly. And it's really annoying as well, because Herrera in Jurassic World Evolution 1 had really great skins, and then they butchered it. Like, the patterns are awful. And it's so sad. Yeah, it's Triassic representation, but the skins are just bad. That being said, the main body colors, like if you don't use patterns and just use body colors, I think there's actually some nice ones in there. So I'm going to say it's not gross, but like the Giga, I think it's bad. It's bad because some of its skins spoil what is a good animal. So it's kind of the opposite to Giga. Like, where Giga's model is saved by the skins, Herrera's is let down by the skins. So I think the same as Giga. Hermanocephaly. It's got to be very good or even perfect, right? Hermanocephaly. It is so good. I'm gonna say that it cannot be perfect, okay? Every single small animal is let down for the same reason, and that is that Jurassic World Evolution 2 scale is simply not designed to handle animals of that size. If we had a better way of showing them off, then Hermanocephaly would be perfect, but we just don't. And while it has really beautiful skins and it's adorable and everything else, it's just let down for the fact that it's small. It's not as tiny as Compy. Compy is in pointless because it's just too small. You can't see it. It's just pointless. But Hermano is big enough to see. Hermano for me is like Coelophysis. It's like, it's small, but it's not overly small, so you can actually still see it. I don't think it's perfect, but it is very, very good. Huangosaurus is going straight into perfect. I'm sorry, it just is. Like, compared to Chunking, so much better. Compared to Gigant Spino, so much better. Huangosaurus has the best skins of any Stegosaurian, okay? Like, not even Stegosaurus has better skins than Huango. Huango's skins are superior. A slightly mismodeled head I can live with because the skins are superior. It was my favorite dinosaur in Jurassic World Evolution 1. Still remains my favorite Stegosaur in Jurassic World Evolution 2. I really like colourful skins on animals, so I really don't care about whether it's realistic in that regards. It might be inaccurate to Good Boy, but again, we're not measuring these dinosaurs based on the accuracy of their, like, to the real world fossils. We're just not doing it like that. I'm going based on what matters to me. So it's perfect for me. Ichthy. Ichthy is really meh for me. They really let Ichthy down with the lack of social, like, the fact that we don't have any more interesting social animations for the Ichthyosaurus. I think the skins are kind of poor as well. I just think it's a very meh kind of animal, and I don't use it very often now. It could have been done a lot better. Let's do another hybrid. Let's go. Here, let's go with the one that I think will cause the most fuss. Spinoraptor, Evo's favorite. Come on, chat. Spinoraptor, where are we putting it? I'm going to put it in pointless just for now while I have a look at its skins, because I haven't actually seen its skins. Oh, that's interesting. Its skins are not on this particular chart I'm looking at. Interesting. Average. Greatest of all time. I heard that you think that Spinoraptor is overrated. Okay. Let me put it to you like this. Would you rather have Utahraptor or Spinoraptor? Yep, the Utahraptor. I think Spinoraptor is overrated because it's just Deinonychus or Velociraptor with a slight sail on its back. I don't think the skins are particularly very interesting. The Lux pattern does make it stand out a little bit more than normal. But I just think Spinoraptor is way overrated for what it is. I don't think because its skins are especially amazing. They're good, but they're not fantastic. The Lux pattern's okay, but it's... I mean, have people noticed the Lux patterns in that hybrid pack were overwhelmingly pink or blue? Like, the only really different one we got was the green on the Stegoceratops. And Spinoraptor's is pink, if I remember correctly. I think Spinoraptor is in okay for me. I don't think it's as good as Ankylodocus. I think it goes above Brachy and Dread and above Chasmo. But I don't think it's as good as anything else we have above it. I think it's okay, but I just think it's overrated. Stegoceratops, yes. Utahraptor, since we're doing it, I don't think we can... It's... Okay. Utahraptor, I love, but I think it's let down in one very specific way. One really, really specific way. And that for me is the fact that, yeah, Mr. Godzilla is onto it. They reuse the Velociraptor designs, and it also can't walk through water. It's really frustrating that a raptor that's bigger than Velociraptor can't walk through water. It's really annoying. Thank you, Love Game Selfie, for reminding me of that situation that happened in that stream. That's so flippin' annoying. Yeah, so it's let down by the bad audio design, which is basically copy-pasted Velociraptor sounds. And it can't swim, even though it's big enough to. Anyway, Iguanodon. I'm going to put Iguanodon in very good. It's... I'm going to say on the lower end of very good. Iguanodon is basically saved for the skins, primarily. All of Iguanodon's skins are really good. It walks around on 4 legs. Like it should. And I think it's better than Edmontosaurus. So for me, Iguanodon, very good. Where is there it is. I really don't like Dominion's Iguanodon. It's awful. And I actually think Frontier have done a very bad job of it as well. When it walks, it looks like the model is overstretching itself, because I think what they've done is they've put the same Iguanodon rig on it, but it's not got the same sort of animal layout, so it just kind of looks very awkward when it walks. And the skins are kind of dull and boring. It just isn't saved by them. It's just kind of very meh and kind of gross. Indominus Rex. So the Indorex, again, if I look beyond the fact that I don't really like it much as an animal, Indominus Rex, they had the option to give us 72 skins for it, and most of them aren't great. For an animal that's supposed to be genetically designed to show off to people, I think most of its skins are kind of boring. The patterns are kind of boring. The Lux pattern does improve it. I think it looks really good with the blue. The fact that it can talk to velociraptors and socialize with them, I think, was also a point in its favor. Do I think it's okay? Or do I think it's just average? Is it better than Carcharodontosaurus? I don't think that it is. I think Carcharo has better main body colors. So, and Lux really should have been a pattern. I agree, Lauren. I think it ends up kind of with Giga and Aloe. Like, some of its skins are good, but most of them aren't, and it just isn't. It doesn't do enough. Like, it's supposed to be genetically engineered, and it's boring. I think Karkar has better main body colors, for me. Indoraptor. Let's have a look. Indoraptor's skins. See, Indoraptor goes for a lot more interesting main body color. And the patterns, you know, they're very distinctly different colors on the patterns. So I think the skins are better. I would say it's okay, but the lower end of okay. Because, again, it is a hybrid. I wouldn't really put it much higher than any real animal. I just think it has better skins than Indominus. And I think it has better skins than Karkar. I think it has better skins than Cerato. I think it's better than Edmonto. Yeah. And I think I'm going to put it at the very high end of average. Does have a great social animation. Yeah, maybe low okay. Yeah, it's kind of between okay and average, I think, then. Yay, Holopterus. I wish I could put it imperfect, because I think Yay Holopterus has some really, really beautiful skins. And the fact that it brought the insect feeder to the game made me think that Frontier were going to add insects feeders to more animals. I think it's adorable, cute, works really well if you want a free roaming animal species. It's let down by its size, let down by lack of social. So again, like Homalocephaly, it's very good, but it's just let down by the lack of the socials. I prefer it to Dimorphodon. Like, if given the choice between Dimorphodon and Yeholopterus, I would rather have Yeholopterus in my park. Easily. It's just too small. And its flight animation is on the better side of the spectrum that we have in game. I do agree. Kentrosaurus. Base game Kentrosaurus. Let's have a look at the skins. Base game Kentrosaurus. So main body colors are a little bland, actually. Even like the Amazon rainforest and mangrove forest skins, which are generally really bright and vivid, are kind of dull. And looking at patterns, the Rana pattern's good. Yeah, actually I think Kentrosaurus is really badly let down by its skins. Is it better than Gigant Spino? I don't think it is, you know. Like, looking at Kentrosaurus's main body colors here, there's none that really stand out very much. You've basically got brown, grey, brown, muddy brown, grey, green, brown, murky green. There's not very much variation in there. And then main body patterns, you've got black, red, light grey, dark grey, light red, kind of black. I think it's really badly let down by its skins. Yeah, I think it's going to have to go... I think it has to go with Gigant Spino, because it has almost the same problem as the Gigant Spino, just bad skins. And the CC, the Camp Cretaceous Kentro, is so much better with its skin quality. Like, such a much broader range of color. But again, the patterns don't really do very much for it. So I think it also ends up with the Kentro. Like, they just have really bad skins. At least it will camouflage with the dirt. Yeah, agreed. Okay, Kronosaurus. Now, it's obviously going to be at the top end. Is it perfect? Is it very good? Some things as perfect. I certainly think Kronosaurus's skins are fantastic. Not all of them. I think there's one or two that are kind of naff. I used it since release until Dunk came. That is kind of the same for me, something. Is it as perfect as Archelon? I don't think it is. I think it's on the high end of very good. I think some of the skins are not fantastic. Like, to be perfect, there literally has to be, like, everything about the animal has to be perfect. It has a lot of very good skins, but not all of them are good. And I think the social animation is kind of dull. I actually think Liopleurodon has a better social animation than Kronosaurus does. Yeah, but it's on the very, very high end of very good. Like, it's at the top end of very good. Maybe it would be, like, low end perfect. Like, I think low end perfect, top end very good. I think it's one of those kind of in the middle animals. Liopleurodon. Okay. So I want chat to do something for me, okay? Ignore the way Liopleurodon looks. Okay, ignore the weird crocodilian design that they've gone for. Liopleurodon's skins are some of the best of any of the aquatics. Its social animation is, in my opinion, the best of any of the aquatics. It's the Liopleurodon is the aquatic giga. So basically, the social animation for Liopleurodon is one goes up to the other, and the one that swims up to it does a roll against the other using its flippers to kind of like half caress, half slap the other one. And it's the only plesiosaur or pliosaur in game that uses its flippers for anything, which I think is a really big missed opportunity. I do understand that for people, the Liopleurodon model is a sticking point. To those people who complain about Liopleurodon's model, I say Dilophosaurus, which has never looked realistic. What about fucking Dreadnoughtus? What about fucking Giga? Like, it's not like Liopleurodon is the only one that looks a bit weird. I would agree with you there, Kairu. I think Liopleurodon and Deinonychus, I think they're quite controversial. I think they're kind of what I call Marmite animals. After, like, you know, so if you don't know already, Great Britain is quite famous for our love of Marmite, which is like a really thick, brown, quite savory sort of spread that you can have on like toast or with cheese and stuff. But the advertising campaign for Marmite is you either love it or you hate it, because there's never anyone in the middle. You either really like it or you really hate the stuff. And I think Liopleurodon and Deinonychus are kind of in that category of you either hate it or you like it. Who puts Marmite on cheese? No, Marmite with cheese. Like, melt some cheese, like melted cheese and Marmite toasties. Flipping amazing. You know, I think we have to I think we need a new category. We're gonna call this one Marmites. Because just accidentally changed. Whoops. Okay, I've just done that wrong. Whoops. Okay, this is pointless. This one, we're going to call Marmites. It's those animals that we can't necessarily agree on. We're going to put it in purple. I'm going to put Liplorodon in Marmite. And I'm going to retroactively move Deinonychus into Marmite. And we're going to put Marmites like below average, because what we're saying is that they're going to be in the middle for pretty much everybody. You're either going to really hate them or really like them. I think we could probably put the Dominion Giga in there as well. They're just animals that have very diverse, like binary opinions. You either like it or you don't like it. I think that's fairer to these three specifically. Lystrosaurus. I think Lystro is bad. Again, I know they're let down because, again, Dominion's design of Lystrosaurus was rubbish. But Frontier's skinning system does not help. And again, because it is so small, the fact that its skins are so bland really doesn't help. I think it's I think it's more bad than Crichtonsaurus in my opinion. Shall we do let's because we've got like 20 minutes and we're about halfway through. So I think we will do another stream on this, maybe on Wednesday night, perhaps. But let's tackle. Let's pick a couple at random. Okay. Stegoceratops. Stegoceratops. So Love Game Selfie is like no. Brenson is like F. So Saul likes Stegoceratops, straight up no. Lux doesn't help it. I disagree there. I think the fact that it has like a really distinct bright green Lux does make it stand out more. I would say I think Frontier have missed a trick by not using the actual film design. Like, it's supposed to be a Nasutoceratops head, right? Like, the design we see in the movie and the concept design is Nasutoceratops' head, right? It is let down in its animations. It doesn't use its tail. It uses the Triceratops animations. I actually couldn't get it to do its social with other members of Triceratops. Like, I've tried to see its social with Triceratops. It just doesn't do it for me. And I actually think I preferred the skin. The skins haven't changed, basically, from the first game. it obviously brings something very different to the game in terms of its shape and look. I think the really bright green Lux pattern does make it slightly good. Okay, so Jacob, Marmites are animals where there's like basically a binary opposition of like you either love it or you hate it. I think Stegoceratops I don't see that with. I don't think Stegoceratops is a Marmite. I don't think it's the general fan base response is like that. Is it meh? I don't think it can be meh because the Lux pattern makes it stand out. So it's gonna have to be average at least. I think the real lower end of average. In terms of its skins, they're all kind of bland. I don't think it's as good as Indominus Rex. I just think they could have done a lot more with it. They could have done a lot more. Considering they seem to have had freedom to make it look however they like. They've gone for quite a bad design. Why didn't they remodel it? Like, they remodeled Ankylodocus. Why not remodel the Spinoraptor and Stegoceratops to look better? Because both Spinoraptor and Stegoceratops, they could do so much more to make them look so much better than what they are now. I mean, I said this back when I reviewed that hybrid DLC, that like 2 of the animals we've just paid for again. So low end of average, I think. Let's go for something a little less Giganotoraptor. Okay, we'll do Giganotoraptor. Where is that? There it is. I think it's obviously in the top end. I think the skins are really, really good. As are the patterns. So I think it's better than okay. Is it perfect? Well, I would argue that the murder chicken is Therizinosaurus, Berenson. I think Giganotoraptor is in a really awkward place because it is basically the same sort of animal as Therizinosaurus. They just have a different feather and head kind of shape. I do like the social that Giganotoraptor has. So that makes it better than Kronosaurus, in my opinion. Is it better than Dinoceras? I think it has better skins than Dinoceras, so yes. Is it better than Amargasaurus? Better skins, better social. Better than Acrocantho? No. I don't think it's better than Acrocanthosaurus. I think Giganotoraptor there are one or two patterns which kind of ruin skin main body colors. Like Giganotoraptor is one of those animals where, like, if you use, I can't remember which it is, but if you use like the main body color that gives it blue and yellow tipped feathers, the patterns ruin the yellow tipped feathers. Like, they always make them worse. So I think you do have to be careful with the skins. And whether it hunts or not isn't really important to me. It would have been nice to see something more unique with its behavior. And it also, we're forgetting the one big problem I have with this guy. It can't walk through water, which makes even less sense than it does for Utahraptor. Because Gigantoraptor is, you know, Gigantoraptor. It's much bigger than Utahraptor, and it can't walk through water. So, yeah, really stupid in my opinion. Hello, Matthias. Let's pick another one at random, because then we can have, like, if we can get it down to, like, what, these last 5 rows, then part 2, I think that will be enough. Let's do Tarbosaurus. Tarbo, I have a feeling Tarbo might stay in Marmites, but tell me, chat, what do you make of Tarbosaurus? Something says pointless. Godzilla actually likes the design. King Giga says meh. Cute animation, big head. Tarbo is actually the worst animal in game. Oh my god, I hate it. Berenson seems to think, yeah, Tarbo is going to be Marmite. You're just mean, says Godzilla. Okay, look. I'll hold my hands up. I don't watch Camp Cretaceous, so I don't care about it in that regards. It's a T-Rex with a slightly chubbier belly and spikes down its back yet again. What is it about dinosaur design with Frontier and Universal where, like, oh, we need to make something look different from a T-Rex, let's put spikes down its back. Like the Giga, let's put spikes down its back. The Carcharodontosaurus, spikes down its back. The skins, I don't like the pattern. Okay, so I don't like the sort of splotchy, barfy, like Herrera, as Soul points out. I don't like the pattern. I like the colours. Tarbo has really good colours, and I would argue really better colours than T-Rex. In terms of main body and pattern, far better colours. I think I wouldn't say it's bad, because I don't think it is, because I think it's different enough to not be bad. I definitely think it's a Marmite, because I know a lot of the Camp Cretaceous fans really love Tarbo, and I'm just like, meh. They could have done more with it. Again, I feel like Frontier have been dealt a bad hand here. And I think a lot of these dinosaurs, they have been. So Dimetrodon, Tarbo, Barry, Dimorphodon, Lystrosaurus, Pyroraptor, Pteranodon, Triceratops. I feel that for those animals that are coming directly from other stuff, like the Camp Cretaceous animals, like, Frontier really can't do very much with them because they've got to look how they look like in that thing. And the Camp Cretaceous Tarbo is just a T-Rex painted purple. Because it was cheap. So I feel like I feel that if Tarbosaurus had come to the game in Jurassic World Evolution 1 and Frontier had made it entirely themselves, I think Tarbosaurus would have been better as a result, because it wouldn't have looked so boring. I don't think. I think they would have done something very different with it. As a result of Camp Cretaceous, they have to use a cheap, boring version of Tarbo. It feels like Tarbo killed my grandma. It's that bad. Also, why would Jurassic World have a Tarbosaurus if they already had a T-Rex? Well, this is a good point, Berenson, because you'd kind of imagine that they would have made it look very different. Like, I think Tarbo, they could have gotten away with putting some feathers on it. Like, not make it like Tyrannus level of feathers, but give it just like a few. This is something about dinosaur. Since we're in the last 10 minutes, I'll have a little chat about this. What is it about modern dinosaur commentary now, where either your dinosaur has no feathers or your dinosaur is fully feathered? There seems to be kind of a lack of dinosaurs that have feathers only in a few places, like on the head or on the arms or on the tail. Instead, it's like, oh, we must have all the feathers everywhere. And it's like, why can't you just stick them in a few places? Like, the T-Rex in Prehistoric Planet had feathers on its back, which I think is fine. Does have partial feathers, yeah. They're kind of, I think they're almost too subtle on Prehistoric Planet's T-Rex. I think I would prefer them to be a little... I wouldn't have been, like, against them making them a bit bigger and maybe a bit brighter. Yeah, I think Godzilla is right there. Like, it does seem that there seems to be two prevailing opinions that it's either fully feathered or not. It might have done Kairu, but again, we see so little of Tarbosaurus in Prehistoric Planet, which is one of my biggest criticisms with that show, is introducing animals it uses for one scene and then just never using them again. I agree with you, Love Game Selfie. I think some dinosaurs shouldn't ever have feathers, like ankylosaurs, sauropods. I don't think they should ever have feathers. But when it comes to some of these animals, especially from a game perspective, like, let's accept the fact we're playing a video game here. I think Frontier could have added feathers to more of these animals to make them stand out a little compared to their predecessors. I really wouldn't be against seeing a Ceratopsian with feathers. Like, there are some really great designs out there in the paleo community of like Styracosaurus with feathers, and it looks absolutely incredible. I think Tarbo definitely should have had feathers. You think Mosasaurus should have feathers? Okay. Since we're on the topic of Mosasaurus, I'm just going to get this one out the way as well. Gross. And you can now all hate me in chat. I don't think it's pointless. There's no reason that it's pointless. But it is disgusting. It has the worst skins. There is just no point bothering with skins for Mosa. It is pointless trying to design it. They're just all bland, all rubbish. And it's against the Meg, the Shawnee, and the Chrono, and the Dunk. Mosa just looks like a grey turd that's been dropped in a lagoon. Like, literally the only thing that it has going for it is its size. And that's only because Jurassic World vastly overinflated the size of Mosasaurus. Like, in reality, it shouldn't be that big. And it's also has some very janky animations. I mean, it does look like the jankiness of its animations has finally been fixed after nearly 3 years, but the animations are still janky on it. Same as Tylosaurus as well. If you watch Tylosaurus, the animation rigging is really poor. Like, sometimes they don't bend when they turn, they just spin on the spot. And it looks really unnatural. And it's been broken like that since day one. I also think Mosa's the social animation that they gave to Mosasaurus is so fucking dull. Like, it is the most boring, bland, uninteresting, uninspired social animation I've seen Frontier do. And Frontier have done some really boring ass social animations, but Moses takes the biscuit. It's the most boring of the boringest socials. Like, the first time I saw it happen, I was like, is that it's social, or is that just something I haven't seen it normally do? Like, I was actually uncertain whether it had actually performed the social animation or not, because it was so subtle. I completely agree, Godzilla. So many of the social animations are uninspired, and for the aquatics especially. Like, in terms of social animations for the aquatics, I think Dunkleosteus is really good. I think Plesiosaurus is really good. I think Attenborosaurus is really good. I think Archelon, really good. I think Liplorodon, really good. I think Styxosaurus, Elasmosaurus, and Nothosaurus is really, really good. But Mosasauruses, Tylosauruses, Elasmosauruses, Styxosauruses, Chronosauruses, arguably, and Ichthyosauruses, they're all boring. Because they're all basically the same. They just kind of, like, roll around each other. Shawnisauruses is also pretty boring, considering the size of it. Yeah, like, is that it? I'm gonna hope that this saves. Or should I take a... You know what? If I just make sure that on this stream VOD I have these animals in these positions. There we go. So if it does reset, I can just put everything back in its place for Wednesday. I shall probably do it on Wednesday, because I would like to have it. I would like next Sunday stream to be Jurassic World. So some point in the week, either Wednesday or Thursday, we'll come back to this. So if you folks want to continue giving me your ideas, please remember to tune in on Wednesday or Thursday. And yeah, it is now 11 o'clock, so I'm going to stop the music. There we go. I want to thank everyone for tuning in for this very lively debate and discussion. And yeah, do keep a lookout for the next stream in the week. Sunday will be back on Jurassic World Evolution 2. And yeah, please do take a look in the community posts tab. I wrote a post in there the other day that's got some important information about the future of Trichlor Gaming. But yeah, until the next stream, wherever you are, enjoy the rest of your evenings. Stay safe, and good night, everyone.